Well, there it is. This is simply just a lost season. The Lakers have fallen out of the play-in tournament now. Now, before I continue with this vent that I'm about to go on, I don't know how many visuals or graphics I'll show because I just want to get this out before the next game. If I can't get too many in here as my own editor, then it just is what it is. I just have to get things off my chest at this point because I haven't talked about this team in a long time, and as a fan, I think I'm due to talk about this team as this team has officially hit rock bottom. This team has as much heart as the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz. That's zero. Will Smith at the Oscars has more fight in him than this Lakers team does. By the way, that was unacceptable what he did, and I especially feel disappointed as someone who can talk all day about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and absolutely love King Richard. I was really pulling for Will Smith to win his first Oscar, but whatever, side tangent. Will Smith has more fight than this pathetic ass Lakers team does. This team has no fight or any desire to win. I didn't think a team going into a season with championship expectations could get any more frustrating than 2013, and boy did this Lakers team prove me wrong. This team has given up, and it's clear as day in their body language just from watching enough games. Kobe didn't allow that at all in 2013, even when the team was below 500 at the All-Star break. And even with all my problems that I had with Dwight Howard back then, he did come back from back surgery sooner than he should have and played through a torn labrum. This team, there's no heart, period. These guys don't even try. They don't look like they even want to be there most of the time. Now, I'm not LeBron, so I can't speak for him about his ankle. However, I do know that it didn't hurt him enough to stop him from going airborne and getting called for a goaltend towards the end of that 23-point blown lead against the Pelicans. I saw a post on Facebook saying that he went Herculean with 39 points. Yeah, 39 points may be nice, but how many did he have in the fourth quarter? Oh yeah, he went 2 for 8 in the fourth quarter. So 39 points don't mean when you can't get it done when it matters most. But you know, again, I'm not a doctor, so I can't really say how much it did affect him. I know it kept him out of this game, but you know, I can't really speak too much for him, but if he was able to play through that last game and was able to go airborne towards the end of the game, I do feel like he could have played this latest game too, and it does make me question his sense of urgency even more. But again, I'm not him and I'm not a doctor, so I can't actually confirm it, just something does seem pretty fishy about it. I don't know how many more games LeBron will miss, but I do hate to break it to LeBron's cult. He does seem more interested in his milestones and his stats at this point than winning another championship, and that pisses me off. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. He wants to make it seem like none of this is his fault, but you know what? I'm not fooled and neither should you. Just watch the games. He chucks threes at the wrong time. And even before this year, he's had a problem with holding on to the ball too long, which allows the defense to load up on him. If you have the right personnel though, like you did in Miami, it's a lot easier to get away with. This team though, does not have the right personnel for that. LeBron has rarely given any effort on defense all season long, and one thing that really did piss me off was this play right here. Yes, Malik Monk definitely should have been there to help, but you got beat, so you should be the one saying my bad. LeBron can score all he wants, but he hasn't been clutch at all this year. Basketball is a two-way sport, and LeBron has been one of the main reasons why the Lakers are a lost cause on defense this year. But you know, LeBron, if you're more interested in your milestones and your accolades, take that shit somewhere else because we want to win. That's all we want. And since winning is no longer a priority for LeBron, that's one reason why he's definitely not the GOAT in my eyes. I don't think LeBron necessarily wants to lose, but he definitely doesn't hate losing to the degree that Michael Jordan or Kobe hated it. And I got news for you, LeBron cultists, there's levels to this when it comes to desire to win. And LeBron's like around here. Michael Jordan and Kobe, they're like up here. With that said though, I'll still acknowledge LeBron as a top 10 player in the NBA today. He's just no longer the best player in the NBA, and I'm not so sure he's even top 5 anymore. But at 37 years old and still being a top 10 player in the NBA today, I will say that is still impressive. Even as much as it is easier to score in today's NBA than ever before, scoring 50 plus twice at age 37 is still impressive. It does also show how it is easier to score in today's NBA though, because we can all see it that he's lost a step in his game, yet he's able to to score 50 plus twice and is leading the league in scoring right now. The stats won't tell you that, but watching the games will tell you that. LeBron also gets gassed at the end of games, and that's where his age definitely is showing. And I'll also be fair here. I don't expect 37-year-old LeBron to still be in peak form. I'm not going to set the bar that high for him, but just his mentality of being more about milestones and stats, that's what I'm not okay with. LeBron is still one of the greatest ever, though. There's no question about that. It does take a lot to be the second all-time leading scorer, but the GOAT, most certainly not. Consensus top 2 player of all time? Most certainly not. And I don't care if you attack me in the comments for that. This is my show. That's how I feel. So if you don't like that I had to say that, then you don't have to be watching anyways. Although if you do continue watching, well, I appreciate that. I also have to talk about Frank Vogel, and Frank Vogel probably won't be coaching the team next year. I seriously doubt it. I wish him well when he's out the door, because during that championship, he did do a really good job, but ever since then, it's like he forgot how to coach. I seriously doubt the Lakers even have a playbook. If they do, though, this is probably what it is. You know what? That's what this team has become. A once proud organization, and now this is what this franchise has become. And on defense, Frank Vogel's a defensive-minded coach, right? Well, how did this team go from first in defense last year all the way down to 20th? This team's rotations are absolute trash. But this is also where I won't completely blame Frank Vogel for, because this team not having Alex Caruso anymore definitely hurt them a lot. And that was something that I was worried about when they lost Alex Caruso. I was not happy at all when they let him walk. The Lakers really do miss his heart and his energy, especially on the defensive end. I don't understand what made it such a rational thought to let go of Alex Caruso. Anthony Davis becoming a cripple, that definitely doesn't help either, but for the fact that this team's rotations on defense are absolute trash, and this team pretty much doesn't even have a playbook, or if they do, it's like toilet paper, yeah, that's where Frank Vogel definitely needs to be held accountable. Or the fact that he seems like he's scared of LeBron. And you know what else? I've seen the Clippers play with a lot more heart without either of their star players for much of the season. Paul George just came back and scored 34 points and led a huge comeback against the Jazz. The Clippers were not expected to be anything more than a low-seeded playoff team this year without Kawhi all season, and they're competing a lot more often than not. The Clippers just got an inspired effort from Paul George in his return. There's talks about Anthony Davis targeting a return on Friday. Sadly, I don't think that'll make much of a difference at all, because this team just has no heart whatsoever, except for Malik Monk and Austin Reaves. The Clippers have this next man up mentality that the Lakers clearly don't have, and I once again have to give all the props in the world to Tyronn Lue for that. Next year, when Kawhi is back, watch out for the Clippers. The Lakers, they seem pretty doomed right now. Injuries do suck. Yes, they're part of the game, and while not having Kawhi most certainly is holding the Clippers back, that's not stopping them from at least trying almost every single game. I've also talked about accountability and leadership before. I'll definitely say it again, and this team has none of it. And you know who that starts with? LeBron James and Frank Vogel. LeBron can put up all the stats he wants. I know he loves to do that, but you have to lead. There's something called intangibles, and LeBron has shown zero leadership this year, pointing the finger at everyone else, not holding himself accountable, also giving up a lot of the time and allowing his team to give up a lot of the time. This is the kind of stuff that does make me sick. Now, to be clear, I don't hate LeBron. I'm very thankful for the championship that he did bring my team, especially because it was on my birthday, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to keep it real with him, and his body language for much of the year, and also prioritizing stats and milestones over winning, that does not sit well with me at all. And you know who else I got to call out? Russell Westbrook. I definitely cannot go without talking about Russell Westbrook here. They say Russell Westbrook gives it his all every single game, and that is far from the truth. He only really gives it his all when he has the ball. When he doesn't have the ball, he seems to just stand around, and if that's what you're going to do without the ball, you can have a seat next to me and you'll be equally as effective. And Russell Westbrook has also shown poor body language this year, and also very thin skin, although death threats, yeah, that's not cool. Like, if you're doing that, then yeah, I don't want you as a subscriber anyways, and you're a coward if you're doing that. But his play on the court and his body language, his demeanor, that stuff that definitely doesn't sit well with me or the rest of the fan base at all. Now, to some extent, I do think Russell Westbrook was set up to fail because he was not a good fit in the first place, and that's something that I was very worried about at the time of the trade. However, that's not an excuse to not give it your all as much as the media says you do, or a lot of your fans say you do. Now, I would love for Russell Westbrook to get out and hopefully the Lakers can retool this team with a better fit and not with a bunch of guys well over 30, but being realistic, I don't see that happening. Who wants Russell Westbrook's contract anyways? I heard there was a declined deal for John Wall at the trade deadline. Maybe that might happen in the offseason, but I definitely do not see John Wall as the guy that would move the needle either, as he's also a guy that stands around without the ball, and he's also been injured, and the fact that he hasn't played all season, yeah, I definitely do not see him as a guy that moves the needle, although at least he may be a better decision maker than Russell Westbrook. But still, this team is definitely not going anywhere for a while, and worst of all, this team doesn't even have their first round pick while they're in danger of missing the playoffs because that first round pick this year was traded for Anthony Davis. And the fact that the Lakers committed almost their entire salary to their big three, that's another big concern. Now, LeBron James and Anthony Davis getting a big payday after a championship, very well deserved, but then to take on Russell Westbrook, who everyone knew would not be a good fit, and then have the three of them take up much of your salary, and Anthony Davis, like, probably not even playing half the season, that's just being extremely dysfunctional. The state of this team is just sad, and does anyone even know who holds the record for most double-digit leads blown in a single season? Because if it's not this year's Lakers, I am very shocked. I can't even count how many times they've blown a double-digit lead. And this time, they followed up their 20-plus point lead blown against the Pelicans by losing by 18. And I didn't even watch this game against the Mavericks. I realized I missed the first part of the game, and then I checked the score. I saw 50-29, and I just said, F it. The fact that I even thought that way as a fan of this team for over 20 years just boggles my mind. The fact that I don't even think it's worth watching every game anymore, which is not like me at all. Like, I do love this team with all my heart, but I think not watching games anymore kind of does save me stress. Well, I'm venting on YouTube. Okay. Malik Monk, Austin Reaves, Stanley Johnson, I guess Melo, even though I don't like how he still likes to chuck and still plays no defense. Not that I ever expected him to play defense anyways, because that's not something he was good at even in his prime. Those guys, I would say, have satisfied me this year. THT just isn't a good fit, and also he's a low IQ player, even though he does have some talent. Not all-star talent, though. Dwight Howard, you had a Hall of Fame career, and you got your ring, but I think it's time you hang it up. Now you don't have anything left to prove, and it's not like you really have much left to offer anyways. Trevor Ariza is a shell of himself now. He was supposed to be a shooter to surround LeBron and Westbrook with, but at 36, he's been abysmal in the 23 games he's played in this season. He's scoring under 4 points per game while shooting under 40% from the field and under 30% from three. He needs to retire. He's completely washed, and it's not like he's helping out on defense either. Kent Bazemore was also added for floor spacing. His 3-point percentage isn't bad, but he's shooting 32.8% from the field. He's just a waste of a roster spot. Now, hopefully, better times are ahead for the Lakers, even though I cannot be optimistic at all anytime soon because of the state of this team right now. Hopefully, when this team does have a full rebuild, they develop their guys properly, unlike last time, and actually try to build a winning culture rather than tank every year for the second overall pick. So that's it for now. Normally, I ask at least a minute into the video to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and at the end, this time I'll only do it at the end. The like would really help out with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribing and hitting the notification bell. If you do that, your support is much appreciated, and also I'm glad to have you never miss another video. Also, please get down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. We can have this as a therapy session for fellow Laker fans, and also the links to my social media are down in the description, and I will follow back. So if you want to see either of these videos up above where it's not much of an event, that'd be much appreciated as well, if you haven't seen one or the other or either yet. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.